Ada sat across from Park Min-ho in his glass office overlooking Seoul, USB drive between them on the polished desk. Her reflection stared back at her from the floor-to-ceiling windows. Deep brown skin against the city's gray sky. Her box braids pulled into a high ponytail, professional blazer doing nothing to calm the hammering of her heart. "This contains proof that someone inside your company has been selling your client's data to North Korean hackers," she said, her Nigerian accent crisp in the sterile air. Park Min-ho didn't look surprised. His pale fingers drummed once against the desk, a single, controlled movement, then stopped. He was beautiful in the way expensive things were beautiful. Sharp cheekbones, dark eyes that gave nothing away, black hair swept back from a face that could have sold luxury watches or broken hearts with equal efficiency. Instead of reaching for the USB drive, he slid a manila folder toward her. Ada's stomach dropped before she even opened it. Inside, surveillance photographs, her apartment building in Lagos, her walking to work at CyberGuard Nigeria, her sister Adiz leaving university, laughing with friends, unaware of the camera tracking her every step. "I know," Park Min-ho said quietly, his English flawless. "I've known for 3 months. The question is, how did you find out? And who sent you to kill me?" Ada's hands clenched in her lap. "I wasn't sent by anyone. And I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to warn you. People who want to warn me send emails. They don't fly 6,000 kilometers and bypass my security to sit in my office." His eyes, God, those eyes were like looking into deep water, cold and fathomless, locked onto hers. "So I'll ask again, who sent you?" "No one sent me." Ada's voice rose despite herself. She forced it down, remembering where she was. 3 weeks ago, I was doing routine security analysis for a client in Lagos. I found a breach, a sophisticated one, layers deep, the kind that takes months to build. I followed the thread because that's what I do. I'm a cybersecurity analyst, and every thread led back here, to Park Tech Solutions. And instead of reporting this to authorities, you decided to fly to Seoul and confront me personally. His tone suggested this was the stupidest thing he'd ever heard, because the authorities wouldn't believe me without more proof. And because Ada stopped herself. "Because?" She met his gaze. "Because 12 years ago my father was destroyed by corporate fraud. The company he worked for in Nigeria was stealing from clients, and when he tried to expose them, they framed him instead. He lost everything, his reputation, his business. He died 3 years later from heart attack. But I know it was really a broken heart." Her fingers pressed against the folder, against her sister's face in those photos. "I've spent my entire career stopping people like that. When I found this breach, when I realized what was happening, I couldn't just send an email and hope someone cared." Something flickered in Park Min-ho's expression. Not quite sympathy, recognition maybe. "You came here to save me," he said, and it wasn't a question. "I came here because it was the right thing to do. In my experience, people who do the right thing usually end up dead." He stood, moved to the window. Seoul spread below them like a circuit board. Lights and steel and millions of people who had no idea what happened in offices like this. "But you're telling the truth, I can see that." "Then you believe me about the breach?" "I believe someone in my company is selling data. I believe North Korean hackers are involved. I believe you're exactly what you appear to be, an idealistic analyst who thinks integrity matters more than survival." He turned back to her, and his face was harder now. "What I don't believe is that you understand what you've walked into." Before Ada could respond, the office door burst open. A man in a black suit, military posture, earpiece, hand hovering near his jacket, spoke rapid Korean. Park Min-ho's entire body went still in a way that made Ada's spine tingle with warning. "How long?" Park Min-ho asked in English, his eyes never leaving Ada's face. "They're already in the building, sir." Ada stood. "What's happening?" Park Min-ho moved around his desk with predatory grace, closing the distance between them. "The Han family, my business rivals, they know about the breach, which means someone told them you're here. And they're going to assume you're working for me. I just met you 5 minutes ago. Doesn't matter." His hand caught her elbow, firm but not painful. "To them, you're a witness. Evidence a loose end." The building shuddered. Not an earthquake. Ada knew earthquakes from her time studying in California. This was deliberate. Controlled, an explosion. The windows rattled in their frames. Alarms shrieked to life. Park Min-ho, the Korean tech executive everyone feared crossing, pulled Ada behind his desk as his office door splintered inward, wood and glass erupting like shrapnel. Men poured through. 3, 4, she lost count, in tactical gear, faces covered, weapons raised. Not police, not security, something worse. Park Min-ho had a gun in his hand. Ada hadn't seen him draw it. "Stay down," he said, his Korean accented English steady despite the chaos. Then he moved. Ada had taken self-defense classes. Had studied Krav Maga for 3 years in Lagos. She thought she understood violence. She understood nothing. Park Min-ho moved like violence was a language he had learned before he could walk. Precise, efficient, beautiful in a terrible way. He shot the first man in the shoulder, not to kill, she registered dimly, but to disable. Used the second man's momentum against him, sent him crashing into the third. The fourth got close enough to swing at Park Min-ho's head. Min-ho caught his wrist, twisted, and the man's scream cut off as his weapon clattered to the floor. "How many more?" Min-ho asked in English, the Seoul edge sharp in his tone. The man spat something in Korean. Park Min-ho's expression didn't change. He hit the man once, precisely, clinically, and the man crumpled. Silence fell like a guillotine. Ada's ears rang. Smoke curled from the shattered doorway. 4 men lay groaning on the expensive carpet. Park Min-ho checked the hallway, then turned back to her. "Not even breathing hard. Can you run in those shoes?" He nodded at her heels. Ida kicked them off without thinking. "Yes. Good." He grabbed her hand. "We have maybe 30 seconds before more arrive." They ran. The hallway was chaos. Employees screaming, security trying to restore order, smoke alarms drowning thought. Park Min-ho navigated it like he'd planned every step, pulling Ada through the madness to a private elevator she hadn't noticed before. He swiped a keycard. The doors opened immediately. They stepped inside. The doors closed, sealing them in sudden, shocking silence. "What the hell was that?" Her entire body shook. The Han family sending a message. Park Min-ho's thumb moved across his phone screen. "They've been trying to destroy Park Tech for years. If they think I have someone who can expose them, they'll kill anyone who might know too much." Ada's mind raced, connecting dots she didn't want to connect. The data breach. It wasn't just corporate espionage. It was ammunition. Whoever's selling your data is selling it to the Hans, and they're using it to ruin me. Yes. The elevator descended smoothly, a surreal contrast to the violence above. "Welcome to Korean Chaebol warfare, Miss Nwosu." "How do you know my name?" "I never... You think I let strangers into my office without knowing exactly who they are?" He pocketed his phone, finally looked at her. Really looked at her. Ada Nwosu, 28, born in Enugu, raised in Lagos. Graduated top of your class from University of Lagos, computer science. Worked for 3 cybersecurity firms before starting at CyberGuard Nigeria 2 years ago. No criminal record. No political affiliations. No obvious red flags, he paused. Your sister Adaze is 23, studying medicine in Lagos. Your mother Kioma is a retired teacher who volunteers at your local church every Sunday. Ada's blood turned to ice. You investigated me. I investigate everyone who gets within 50 feet of me. It's why I'm still alive. The elevator stopped. Underground parking. Concrete, fluorescent lights, and the echo of their footsteps too loud. A black Genesis G80 idled near the elevator, engine running, driver already in position. Park Min-ho opened the back door, gestured for Ada to get in. She hesitated. Where are we going? Somewhere the Hans can't track us. I have a flight back to Lagos tomorrow morning. You're not making that flight. His voice was flat, final. The moment you entered this building, you became a target. Those photographs in my office? The Hans have copies. They know who you are. They know where your family is. If you try to go home, you'll be dead before you clear customs. Ada's legs felt weak. This is insane. I came here to help. And now you're collateral damage in a war you didn't start. Something in his expression softened. Barely. A crack in ice. I'm sorry, truly. But right now, getting in this car is the only thing keeping you alive. Ada looked at the car. Looked at the elevator behind them, already returning to whatever hell existed on the upper floors. Looked at Park Min-ho, undeniably Korean, undeniably dangerous, undeniably her only chance. She got in the car. Park Min-ho slid in beside her. The door closed. The driver pulled out without a word. navigating through the underground garage to an exit that opened onto Seoul's mid-afternoon traffic. Ada watched the city blur past, neon signs in Hangul she couldn't read, people moving through their normal days, unaware. Her hands were still shaking. "I need to call my sister," she said. "No. She'll worry if I don't. If you call her, they'll trace it." Park Min-ho's voice was gentle but immovable. "I know this is difficult, but your family is safer if they don't know where you are. You're asking me to just disappear? To let my mother think something happened to me? I'm asking you to trust me for the next 48 hours while I clean this up." He turned to face her. "I have people watching your family. Good people, they won't be touched. That's a promise. Why should I believe anything you say? Because if I wanted to hurt you, you'd already be hurt." He said it without arrogance, just fact. "And because you came here to warn me about a breach I've been trying to plug for months. Someone in my company is betraying me, and you just confirmed my worst suspicions. That makes you valuable, and I protect valuable things. I'm not a thing. No. You're a woman who flew across the world for a stranger because your sense of right and wrong wouldn't let you do anything else." His eyes held hers. "People like you don't exist in my world, Miss Nwosu, which means I'll do whatever it takes to keep you alive." The car turned into an underground garage. Different building, quieter, more residential. The driver parked, got out, opened Ada's door with military precision. Park Min-ho led her to a private elevator. They rose in silence, 10 floors, 15-20. When the doors opened, Ada stepped into a penthouse that looked like it cost more than her entire apartment building in Lagos. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Minimalist furniture that was somehow comfortable and intimidating at once. Art on the walls, actual art, pieces she recognized from auction catalogs. "Safe house?" she asked, one of them. Park Min-ho moved to a panel on the wall, entered a code. Hidden cabinets opened, revealing screens and equipment. "I need you to walk me through exactly what you found. Every detail, every thread you followed." Ada's professional instincts kicked in despite everything. "I'll need a secure computer. My laptop's at my hotel. Already retrieved." He gestured to a laptop on the glass dining table. Her laptop, she realized, with her stickers and scratches. "I had someone collect it while we were leaving the building. You had someone break into my hotel room?" "I had someone protect your belongings before the Hans did the same thing." He poured 2 glasses of water from a crystal pitcher, offered her one. "Now, the breach. Tell me everything." Ada wanted to argue. Wanted to demand he let her leave, call her family, go back to her normal life where the worst thing that happened was a client refusing to pay her invoice. But the explosions were real. The men with guns were real. The photographs of Adai's were real. She took the water, sat at the dining table, opened her laptop. "It started 3 weeks ago," she began. For the next 2 hours, they worked. Ada walked Park Min-ho through every step of her investigation. The initial breach discovery, the encryption patterns, the offshore servers, the money trail that led through shell corporations to a single compromised account inside Park Tech Solutions. Park Min-ho asked questions that proved he wasn't just a CEO in a nice suit. He understood code, understood network architecture, understood the kind of sophisticated attack that required inside knowledge. "The insider has admin-level access," Ada said, highlighting a section of code. "They've been siphoning data for at least 6 months, maybe longer. And they're not just stealing it. They're planting malware that will activate in..." She checked the timestamp, felt her stomach drop. 72 hours, God. They're planning something big. What kind of something? A distributed attack on Seoul's financial district servers. If this malware activates, it'll crash the stock exchange, banks, government, financial systems. It would be economic chaos. Park Min-ho's face went very still. "And the Hans would profit from the chaos while I take the blame for the security breach." "Exactly. So we have 72 hours to stop an attack, identify the insider, and keep the Hans from killing us both." He almost smiled. "I've had worse weeks. How is that possible?" "You'd be surprised what you survive when survival is your only option." He stood, moved to the windows. "I need to make some calls. There's food in the kitchen. Help yourself. Guest room is down the hall. Second door on the left. You should rest." "Rest?" Ada's laugh was slightly hysterical. "I was almost killed today. My family is in danger. I'm trapped in a foreign country with a man I don't know who apparently keeps guns and surveillance equipment as home decor. Rest is not happening." Park Min-ho turned. and his expression was something she couldn't read. "I know you're scared. You have every right to be. But I need you sharp, not exhausted. We have work to do tomorrow." "What kind of work?" "The kind that requires you to trust me completely." He moved closer, and Ada was suddenly aware of how tall he was, how his presence seemed to fill the space around him. "Can you do that, even though you just met me? Even though I'm asking you to put your life in my hands?" Ada thought about her father, about the promise she'd made at his funeral, that she'd never let someone's corruption go unchallenged, no matter the cost. She'd flown to Seoul because of that promise. Now the cost was standing in front of her, asking if she was willing to pay it. "I can try," she said. Something in Park Min-ho's eyes shifted. That's enough for now. He left her alone in the vast penthouse, and Ada finally let herself shake. Let herself feel the terror she'd been holding back since the explosion. Let herself wonder if she'd just made the biggest mistake of her life, or the only choice that mattered. Her laptop chimed softly. Email notification. She opened it without thinking, then wished she hadn't. Unknown sender. Subject line, "You should have stayed home." The email contained a single video file. Ada's hands trembled as she clicked play. The footage was grainy, taken from a distance, but she recognized the location immediately. Her mother's house in Lagos. The small blue gate, the mango tree in the yard, and there, walking to the front door, unaware of the camera tracking her every step, was a daze. The video cut to black. Then new footage, closer this time, clearer. A room Ada didn't recognize. Concrete floor, single chair in the center, and sitting in that chair, wrists zip-tied, terror in her eyes, was her sister. A Daisy's voice was small, shaking. "Ada, Biko, I don't know what's happening. These men, they said you're in Korea. They said if you don't do exactly what they say..." The camera moved. A man stepped into frame, face obscured, but Ada recognized the tactical gear from the attack at Park Tech. He spoke in accented English. "You have 24 hours to deliver Park Min-ho to Incheonport, Warehouse 7. Come alone, tell no one. Your sister dies if you disobey. Your mother dies if you call police. You die if you try to run." The man's hand moved into frame, grabbed Adai's hair, yanked her head back. Adai screamed, a sound that would haunt Ada for the rest of her life. The video cut out. Ada couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Couldn't do anything but stare at the screen where her sister's terrified face had been. Her laptop chimed again. "New message, midnight tomorrow, don't be late." The door behind her opened. Park Min-ho stepped back into the room, took one look at her face, and was beside her in 3 strides. "What happened?" Ada turned the laptop toward him, unable to speak. He watched the video in silence. His jaw tightened with each second. When it finished, he closed the laptop carefully, as if it might explode. "When did you receive this?" "Just now." Ada's voice sounded strange in her own ears. Distant, broken. "They have Adai's. They have my sister. And they're going to kill her if I don't..." Her throat closed. "If I don't bring you to them. It's a trap. I don't care." She stood, fists clenched. "That's my sister. My baby sister who's never hurt anyone. Who wants to be a doctor and help people. They took her because of me. Because I came here trying to do the right thing, and now we get her back." Park Min-ho's voice was steel wrapped in silk. "How? They said come alone. They said if I tell anyone, you're not going alone. And we're not going to that warehouse." He pulled out his phone, typed rapidly. "But they're right about one thing. We have 24 hours, which means we start now." "Start what?" He looked at her, and Ada saw something in his eyes she hadn't seen before. Something that made her believe, despite everything, that maybe, this could work. Planning how to burn them all down. Ada's phone, the one she'd thought was just for emergencies, buzzed in her purse. She'd forgotten she even had it with her. Another message. Another video file. This one was even shorter, just 10 seconds. Adi's crying, speaking directly to the camera in Igbo. "Ada, Biko, don't come. They'll kill you. I love you. Don't..." The video cut off mid-word. Text appeared. TikTok. Ada looked at Park Min-ho through tears she didn't remember starting to cry. "What do? We stop reacting and start hunting." He moved to the hidden panel again, and this time when it opened, Ada saw what she'd missed before. Weapons, body armor, surveillance equipment that looked military-grade, communications devices. Everything you'd need for war. Who are you, really? She whispered.